Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then you can see how Atma can never be bound by anything material. Only the body can be limited, but the Atma cannot be limited by material things. So by chanting you come to your original spiritual vision, and thus you'll achieve the liberated vision. So, pretty soon he had the entire prison house chanting. They're having nice kirtans in the prison, and all the prisoners became very happy, and they had regular Gita classes, Bhagavatam classes. The whole prison was, people are going to the prison, the superintendents and wardens are seeing the prisoners. Prisoners are all smiling, Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. So what's going on here? People are supposed to be suffering in prison, everybody's happy. They're all getting a spiritual bliss. So the report went to that ruler that the whole prison now everybody's chanting Hare Krishna. You put Haridas Thakur there, now whole prison is chanting Hare Krishna. So all the prisoners are supposed to be punished, but they're all very happy. They're happier than we are. They're having a good time. So the ruler called Haridas Thakur again. So what you're doing, I put you in a prison, you should stop chanting Hare Krishna, instead you are making everyone else chant. So again Haridas Thakur explained, what's the problem? What harm am I doing by chanting? I am bringing happiness to everyone. So why should you object if I chant? I'm not harming anyone. But again his religious advisor told him that no, you should tell him he cannot chant. Otherwise he's going to create very bad example. So then Haridas Thakur was told by the ruler that I order you, you have to stop chanting Hare Krishna. Otherwise I have to give you the severest punishment. The Haridas Thakur, he never stopped chanting Hare Krishna. He told, my dear Lord, even if you cut me into little pieces, so long as one piece is left, it's going to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So then he was ordered to be whipped in 22 marketplaces by caning. Even today, I heard in Singapore they're still doing this caning. There, they have a doctor stand by. Usually after 3 hits with the cane, someone goes unconscious. A very long cane, it develops intense velocity. When it hits, it's a heavy shock on the system. Nobody can survive 25 lashes at one time, you die. So after 3-4 hits, they're usually unconscious, the doctor stops, does the treatment, they come back to consciousness, then again they get new dose. People who overstay their visa in Singapore, they get whipped. But in those days, there was no doctor, the intention was just kill him. Whip him until he dies. 22 marketplaces means sure death. Each market they'll whip him so many dozen times. So he went to the market, and there the people were protesting, they were screaming, they were saying this is unjust, this is not proper. But the soldiers kept the people away. They wanted to make an example of Haridas. The Haridas, as he was being whipped, he was praying Actually, Krishna was coming with his Sudarshan Chakra to just finish off these torturers, these executioners. But that time Haridas Thakur prayed that these executioners don't know what they're doing. It's not their fault. Please forgive them. They know not what they do. I deserve to suffer because I've committed so many sinful activities. So for all my sins, this is just not even enough. I deserve worse. So because he was praying to forgive the torturers, so Krishna, he couldn't punish them. So what Krishna did is he personally came and he took the hits on his back, the whippings on his back. So Haridas Thakur, after the first market, he couldn't feel anything. They're whipping and whipping, but it was having no effect because Krishna was taking everything himself. So, normally after 2-3 marketplaces finished, they'll die. But after 22 marketplaces, Haridas Thakur was still alive. So when someone chants Hare Krishna for a significant period of time, purely without offense, they get all siddhis. All the perfections of the other yoga systems also come to the bhakti yogis, automatically by the grace of Krishna, without any separate endeavor. So Haridas Thakur had also achieved the Ashta Siddhi. He had mystic power, but as a bhakta, he didn't use these mystic powers. He had no need to use them. But in any case, after the 22 market whippings, the executioners looked at Haridas Thakur, who was unscathed, unharmed, and they were sitting with their hands on their head. They are very frustrated. They are very sad. Haridas Thakur said, "What is the matter? Why you two are so unhappy?" They looked at him, "We are very unhappy because you are alive." Why does my being alive make you unhappy? Because after whipping you 22 marketplaces, you didn't die. That means now the ruler will kill us. We didn't do our job. He'll say we didn't do our job properly. So Haridas Thakur was pura dukkha dukhi. He was very compassionate. He didn't like to see anyone suffer. So he said, "You mean if I die, you'll be happy?" "Oh sir, we'll be very happy if you die. Please die. We'll appreciate." So no problem. For you I'll die. So he laid down and he went into samadhi. He stopped breathing. He stopped his heartbeat. He went into suspended animation using his yogic siddhis. So then they felt no heartbeat, no breath. "He's dead! He's dead! Wonderful, wonderful, he's dead!" They ran and told the ruler, "Look it, okay, he's dead now." They went to see. Then they saw that Haridas Thakur was lying down. He was dead. Apparently, no breathing, no heartbeat. So then the ruler said, "Well, all right, so bury him." But his religious advisor told him, "No, you shouldn't bury him. You shouldn't burn him. Because we don't want his soul to have any peace. He has done such a sinful thing. Rather, you should throw him in the river. let the dogs and the jackals and the birds, the vultures and the crows tear his body apart, and let his soul wander the earth without peace. He's a great sinner. So the ruler said, all right, okay, do that. So he told the two executioner, you throw him in the river. So they tried to move Haridas Thakur, but because he was in yogic trance, he had assumed the mass of Krishna. He had become unlimitedly heavy. So they couldn't move him even an inch, even a millimeter. They are struggling. They're not moving. So they bring more people, help, all you soldiers, help, everyone pushing, nothing. They brought elephants, they tied elephants in chains, pulling, goading, the elephants are screaming, but he's not moving. So they are very frightened, what happened? Then all of a sudden you see Haridas Thakur, Krishna is heavier than the heaviest, he is lighter than the lightest. He became so light, he started to blow around in the wind like a balloon. So they quickly picked him up and he's just floating, and they went and threw him in the water. But there he's just floating on top of the water, and quickly he gets blown to the other side of the river. When the water touched Haridas Thakur, then Haridas Thakur, he became conscious. And he looked around and he started to swim. And he swam to the other side of the river. And he got up and he started to chant, Haribol, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the soldiers, the general, the ruler, they're all amazed. What's going on here? He's alive. Then the ruler, he went, he said, bring me a boat quickly. And he went to the other side and he ran after Haridas Thakur and he fell down at his feet and he said, my Lord, you forgive me. You are a great master. You are a great saint. I have committed so many offenses, I didn't recognize you. I was wrongly advised. You please forgive me for my offenses. The Haridas Thakur said, I can only forgive you if you give the order that in your kingdom no one will obstruct anyone from chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So then he gave the order. Meanwhile, his religious advisor also had come. And he said, no, I don't want to listen to you anymore. But that religious advisor also fell down at Haridas Thakur's feet. So you please forgive me for my offenses. I committed also a great offense. You are a great saint. You forgive me. So in this way, everything ended very positively. Everyone could understand the glories of Haridas Thakur. So he was called as Namacharya by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the spiritual master of the holy name. And he was such a great devotee that simply by hearing him, by seeing him, by hearing about him, one could get purified. He was day and night chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So he was born in another culture, but he took to Krishna consciousness. He fully surrendered to Krishna, so Krishna fully reciprocated with him. And he could achieve all the perfections. So if we surrender to Krishna, Krishna promises, Jayajata Mahang Prapadyante Tang Sataiva Bhajamyaham. According to how people surrender to me, I will reciprocate to them. As they worship me, I will worship them. Those who try to cheat Krishna, like Kamsa, Krishna would cheat them. Those who dealt fairly with Krishna, Krishna would deal fairly with them. Those who would worship Krishna, Krishna would reciprocate with them. He would offer them respect. Those who would take full shelter of Krishna, Krishna would give them full shelter and protection. In the Bhagavatam, it mentions how Krishna, he went to the kingdom of Maithila, which is now, Maithila is partly in Bihar and partly in Nepal. Previously it was its own kingdom, and the king of that place was Bahulasva. There was also one Brahmin, I believe his name was Sundarupa. Or what, anyone, is that the right name? Sundarupa? As far as Sundarupa or Sundarananda, I'm not 100% sure. Both were fully devoted to Lord Krishna. So when Krishna, he went from Dwarka to Maithila, then he was accompanied by so many ministers and generals and other advisors. So both the Brahmana Sundarup and the Brahmin devotee and the Kshatriya devotee, they both received Krishna. They both wanted Krishna to come to their house. So Krishna, he divided himself in two. Krishna became two. And one of the forms went with Bahulasva, and the other one went with the Brahmin devotee. So both thought that Krishna has gone with me. They didn't know that Krishna went with the other. So when Krishna went with Bahulasva, he had the Brahmanas chanting mantras, he had the royal band, he had all the salutes, armed guards, full royal reception, then offering him silken clothings, giving golden vessels, bathing his feet. Everything was done in a royal way, first class, giving jewels and other valuable gifts. And when Krishna went to his Brahmin devotee's house, he was very poor. He could only offer Krishna one grass mat to sit. He didn't have any golden pots, he only had clay pots, or brass pots. So with these humble pots, he was also bathing Krishna's lotus feet. He is offering Krishna food on a banana leaf, not on a golden plate. So in this way, in his own way he was offering, but with full devotion he was offering. So Krishna was accepting the devotion by the king as well as by the Brahmana, poor Brahman. So Krishna, one of Krishna's names is Bhavagrahi Janardhana. He accepts our bhav, our devotional mood. There's a story how husband and wife, they were preparing one offering for Krishna. They had a temple of Krishna and they were preparing some fruit offering, some nice feast they had made. All of a sudden Krishna in the temple, in the kitchen, Krishna himself, he came. He said, "You give me the offering." So the husband and wife, they are so overjoyed. Krishna has come. They are seeing Krishna face to face. They immediately bowed down and paid their obeisances, and they are just excited so much. Krishna said, "Just give me the offering. You want to offer me, you give me." So they quickly offered to Krishna the offering. And next minute they saw that Krishna is eating the banana peel. And the husband saw that in their excitement, he had peeled the banana and given Krishna the peel. And he is holding the banana. And Krishna is eating the peel. Then he said, what have I done? Oh no, you give me back the peel, you take the banana. And Krishna said, I don't need your banana or peel, it doesn't make any difference to me. It's your mood of devotion, your enthusiasm, which has given me pleasure. Hitai go primanandi hari hari bol. So Krishna accepts a mood of devotion. You see. According to our capacity, we should serve the Lord as much as we can. This is the principle. For the poor Brahmana, if he offers Krishna some prasadam on banana leaf for the simple clay pot, it's alright. But if the king is saying, okay, here you take a banana leaf, and he doesn't offer, he's I don't want to spend too much money, that won't be very appropriate. According to his capacity, he gave a royal reception. According to the Brahmana's capacity, he gave his Brahminical reception. So according to our capacity, we should serve. And that will be appreciated by the Lord. Whatever we give to Krishna, Krishna never forgets. Just like Viprasudama, those who are in Gujarat, they know this story, famous story, Viprasudama. Others know also, there's a famous story from Bhagavat, how Krishna's godbrother, when he was in the ashram in Ujjain of Sandipani Muni, at that time Sudama, who was a Brahmin, he was also in the ashram with Krishna, who was playing the part as Kshatriya. Although Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So they had many pastimes. They'd go together and get wood in the forest. Sometime Viprasudama became frightened. Krishna would protect him. Various intimate pastimes they had. Later, Krishna graduated from his Gurukul studies. He went to Dwarka, and Viprasudama, he got married and he was doing his Brahminical activities. But Viprasudama became very poor. So his wife used to needle him, henpeck him. That you are having Krishna as your friend. He's the richest king in the whole world. He's the Lord himself. He has got all. Lakshmi is just serving his lotus feet. And you being his pure devotee, his intimate friend, you are so poor. Why don't you go to him and get something from him? We are struggling here hand to mouth. Nothing is in the house. Look at, my sari is ripped. I don't have anything. So she was pushing her husband to get some material blessing from Krishna. So finally, Viprasudama thought, anyway, she's sending me to Krishna, let me go see Krishna. It's been a long time. I like to see my old friend. And he said, what, I should bring something to Krishna. I don't have anything to give him. So then he went begging, and he got from few neighboring houses, he got some flat rice. He wrapped it in his dhoti, his chadar. And then he walked to Dwarka. So as he's walking, he's remembering how when he was a child, he was together with Krishna, how all the things that they were doing, how wonderful Krishna was, how beautiful. And he was practically having tears in his eyes. He was feeling so much devotion, so much love for Krishna. Then he thought, when I get to Dwarka, who am I? I'm just a poor Brahmana. He may not recognize me. He may not let me in the door even. They may think, who is this beggar? Like this, he was having some misgivings. But when he got to Dwarka, he saw there's a fabulous city in the ocean. And there's big palaces and huge dock was there. People are going here and there. And then he came to the palace of Krishna. And there's very opulent. Even in the palace there are so many jewels and gold everywhere. He was amazed at the opulence. And the big guards are there. He was frightened, maybe they won't let me in. But as soon as he came, the doors opened. They said, "You're Vipra Sudama, you come in." The doors were wide open, and he just went one after another. He didn't tell anybody he's coming, but somehow everyone knew that he was coming. And he went through the 7 different gates. Finally he got right to the inner quarters. There Krishna was waiting. He said, "I've been waiting for you. What took you so long?" So, "How did you know I was coming?" He said, "I know everything." So then he said, "I'm blessed. The Brahmana has come to my house." So then Krishna started to play the part as if he was a Kshatriya, just to have fun with his devotee. So he said, "So you're Brahmana, you sit down. I have to offer you respect. We Kshatriyas had to worship the Brahmanas." So he started to bathe the feet of Viprasudama, and Rukmini, the goddess of fortune, was fanning him. And then Krishna, after finishing the formalities, he sat by the side of Viprasudama, and they started to talk. "How have you been? How is everything?" And they were remembering all the things that happened with Sandapani Muni in the ashram. And Viprasudama, being with Krishna, he was just overwhelmed in ecstasy. He was so happy. He forgot everything. He couldn't ask Krishna anything. He wants to serve Krishna. He wants to give everything to Krishna. How he can ask something from Krishna? His relationship is not like a business deal. "You're my friend, so give me something." He couldn't ask. He was shy. Also, how could he ask Krishna something? Krishna is so opulent, and everyone, he couldn't ask. It was beneath him to ask anything of Krishna. But Krishna is so pleased, so grateful with his devotee. His devotee was giving him real love. He wasn't asking anything from Krishna. So Krishna thought that this devotee is giving me the most valuable thing in the world. You can never find a true friend in this world. You can never find the true devotion or love from anyone. But this Viprasudama is giving me unadulterated affection and love. So, this is a priceless gift. I'd like to give him something, but I have nothing to give that's equivalent to that pure love and devotion he's giving me. If I'd like to at least give him some material things. But if I tell him I feel very shy, what is it? It's like, how can I give him something material for something so wonderful spiritually he's giving me, his devotion? So Krishna was also too shy to tell Viprasudama, "I want to give you something material." He thought this material thing is too insignificant. So Krishna was so grateful. Then Krishna, he asked, "What you're having for me? Is this for me in your cloth?" Then Viprasudama looked around, saw the jewels and the diamonds and the gold and the marble columns and silk and everything. And he thought, "What, I got some flat rice? How can I offer this flat rice to Krishna? This is not at all clean enough, good enough for him. He's getting much better things than this." So Viprasudama said, No, this is not good enough for you." And Krishna said, "No, anything my devotee brings me is good enough for me." And he grabbed the cloth, and Viprasudama is trying to stop it. No, don't take it. But then Krishna grabbed it and opened it. And he took out the chira, and he ate once. This is so nice. My favorite chira, flat rice. And this is you see, country made. We don't get in the city, you know. He took another bite, He was going to take the third bite and Lakshmi, she grabbed his hand, said, please, two's enough. So why? So my Lord, when you take in one bite, I have to give him all the opulence of the world. You take 2 bites, I have to give him everything equal to you. Now you take 3 bites, I have to give him more than you. Because he didn't give his own thing, he begged from others. So then he gave more than his own capacity. So I have to give more than your opulence to him. And I can't do that. There's nothing more than your opulence. So don't take 3 times. I'll be very much hard pressed to reward him for you accepting his seva. So then when Viprasurama, after a wonderful time with Krishna, he went back to his village. Whole time he's remembering Krishna, how nice Krishna was. What a wonderful friend. Then he went back to his place. He said, what happened? Everything's changed. Used to be kind of like a desert. Now it's all gardens around here. Where's my house? Then he saw that where his house used to be, there's this big palace, all gardens and fountains. And what's going on here? What happened to my house? Then he saw that some beautiful lady is coming with so many, like some lord's wife with so many servants. So what's all this? And then all of a sudden realized, this is my wife. This is my skinny wife. Now she's all fed. She's very healthy now. She's become so beautiful. Her full beauty is now manifest. So, the wife said, look at, Krishna has sent all these things. He said that he couldn't tell you because he was too shy to give Sachi. He just gave all this. So Viprasudama never asked Krishna, you give me anything. He couldn't ask. But Krishna gave anyway. He knew that, alright, your wife wants, so okay, for your wife's sake you take it. You have the opulence. So Viprasudama, he accepted. But he used in Krishna's service. He used his house as a temple. He worshipped Krishna in the house. They're having kirtanas there. He was feeding all the other people with Krishna prasadam. So like this, if Krishna has us in poverty or has us in wealth, we use whatever we have for Krishna. And there's no entanglement. Rather, Krishna, he'll always be grateful. So this principle we see in these great devotees' lives. But it all begins from very simple things. Krishna said, think of me. It's very easy to think of Krishna. We can think of his pastimes, his qualities, his holy name. Easiest we can think of Krishna as his name. We can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That automatically, if we are chanting, we are thinking of Krishna. Thinking of Krishna's name and thinking of Krishna is the same. That's also worship to Krishna. Then we come, we bow down to Krishna. We become devotee of the Lord. These are very simple things. You chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavat Gita, associate with the devotees, take some prasadam. These are not difficult to do. Whether man or woman, whether young or old, anyone can do this. Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, they are 5 years old, they were greatest bhaktas. Bhishma is a great grandfather, he is at the deathbed, he is a great devotee of Krishna. He wants Krishna to be present when he leaves his body. So whether young or old, anyone can be great devotee of the Lord. Draupadi, Kunti Devi, great devotees of Krishna, ladies. So many men, whether kings, brahmanas, vaishyas, Nanda Maharaj, workers, there are no restriction. Anyone can be devotee of the Lord. Whoever is a devotee, then Krishna promises they'll come to me. So we have to decide in our life what we want to do. We can lead our life, we can make some money, we can build a house. We grow old, then we'll leave the body, we'll leave the house to the family descendants. Then we'll go on to the next birth. We don't take the house with us, we don't take the money with us, we don't take the family members with us. What only thing we take with us is our devotion to God. Whatever devotion to Krishna we have, that we take with us to the next life. All the other things are only for this life. So what we get in this life, if we use that for Krishna's service, that is a permanent asset spiritually. So that's why human life is meant side by side. We take care of the immediate necessities. Krishna never said to neglect that. He himself gave the house to Viprasudama. At the same time, it's our duty to be Krishna conscious. So that's a decision we have to make. Whether we want, what we want to do when we leave our body. Whether we want to become a dog in our next life. Whether we want to become an animal in our next life. Whether we want to become a human being. Want to become a deva. Or want to go back to Krishna. How many of you want to take birth as an animal in your next life? How many of you want to take birth again in the material world? How many of you want to go back to Godhead, back to Krishna? Anybody wants to go back to Krishna? How many want moksha of some sort? Okay, so this is the thing. Few people are just abstaining from the vote. That's all right. But everyone that voted, they all wanted to get some form of mukti or go back to Krishna. So, here in the Vedas, you know there's different paths. There's karma, there's jnana, and yoga, and bhakti. These are the main paths. Everything else is simply a sub-category of these four categories. Do good works. Do good works, there's karma. So if you do good karmas, you can get the swarga. You can get the pitri lok. But nowadays, if you do good works, in the Shastra, there's nowhere it says by doing good works you can get moksha. Or you go back to Krishna. It's not at all there. But even if somebody wants to do good works, it's very hard to do properly good works. Who can follow all the Vedic rules and regulations, all the agamas, all the samskaras properly? It's very difficult in this age. And even if you do, you only get swarga maximum. And swarga means you stay there sometime, again you come back down as human being. Abrahmanha bhuvana loke punarvitin Arjuna. In Gita, Krishna says, even you go to Brahmalok, you have to come back down again. Punarvitin Arjuna. Again you fall down. Swarga is not eternal. They also have birth and death. So how many want to achieve the success by following this karma? So then, there's a process of jnana. Jnana is very popular, especially in South India, North India, all over India. Jnana is very popular. A lot of people are doing jnana yajnas. Jnana is very good for the intellectuals. Of course, by jnana we can stimulate our mind. We can understand something about absolute truth. What is the difference between matter and spirit? Jnana has got very good potential for this. But according to Shankaracharya, who is a principal exponent of Jnana, if you want to achieve moksha, then you have to become a sannyasi. Nobody can get moksha by process of jnana and be a grihasti. That's why all these, you see, jnanis, they become sannyasis, those who want to. You can make some progress, but to get moksha, you have to take sannyas. To give up all these mayas, jagat mithya, brahma satya, this is their slogan. World is false. Absolute truth is the truth. So, how many of you are immediately ready to take up sannyas, leave aside all these worldly things and completely surrender to the forest, become sannyasis? One person in the back, he's ready. Rare soul. But 99.9%, nobody raised their hand. It is not practical. How we can give up everything like that and just abruptly take sannyas? That will be also artificial. Lord Chaitanya, he didn't recommend. In fact, some grihastha came to him and said, I feel frustrated with my family life, I want to take sannyas. Then Lord Chaitanya chastised him, don't speak all this nonsense. Don't think about leaving your family, you stay in your family. You practice Krishna consciousness, you preach to others, you preach to your family members. In this way you make your family, your own neighborhood, your own place, your people, you make them God conscious. Everyone you meet, you tell them about Krishna's glories. That is the practical. Don't think about abruptly, artificially giving up things. This is Lord Chaitanya called it Morkat Vairagya. Monkey renunciation. We look at the monkeys in the forest, we think they are very renounced. They're living, they have no clothes. But monkeys are not renounced, they're bogies. They're always trying to enjoy. So just because someone lives in a forest doesn't mean he's a Vairagi. That's called Markat Vairagya. Monkey renunciation. If we try to give up and at the same time we want to enjoy. So this is not recommended. Anyway, none of you accepted that. It's not practical also. Of course, there's also process of yoga. You can do Astanga yoga. You sit day after day in a quiet place on kusa grass, meditating, observing pranayama, concentrating on the tip of your nose. Hours and hours, live off the leaves in the forest or berries and simply meditate. You do that for 10, 20 years or a few lifetimes and you can also achieve liberation. So how many are willing to do this, to give up all other activities and just sit down and meditate without moving? So in Muscat we don't have many people who are prepared to do that. So how you're going to achieve moksha? How you're going to achieve perfection in your life? Let's get off the speculative platform, off all the dreaming and all the sentiment, get to practical reality. The only way that one can achieve perfection in age of Kali is by chanting the holy name, by practicing bhakti yoga. All these alternatives were given to Arjuna, who is much better man than any of us, by 1,000 million times. He rejected everything and he accepted bhakti yoga. So it's simply our own, you see, playing, that we thinking, what about jnana, what about karma, what about yoga? What is not practical? What is practical is what Krishna finally presented and what was finally accepted by Arjuna, which is exemplified by this verse. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyajimang namaskuru. You become my devotee. You think of me, bow down to me, worship me. then you'll come to me. You'll be absorbed in me. So therefore the Vedas are saying in age of Kali, you chant the holy name, chant the holy name, chant the holy name of Hari. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva, Kevalam, Kalova, Nastiva, 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 Gathir Anyatha. There's no other way, no other way, no other way. Not by karma, not by jnana, not by yoga. Gathir Anyatha is not practical. They are very good in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dharpa Yuga. We are in Kali Yuga. No one has that stamina, that environment, that facility. In any case, this is also the easier method. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has opened up the Bandar. He's opened up Prem Bandar, the storehouse. To specialize. We have to focus. Little bhakti, little karma, little jnana, little this, little that. We have to focus. If we concentrate on devotion, we'll get immediate result very quickly. That we're seeing. I'm coming here to Muscat on intervals. And I see after a few months, those who start, they come to me and say, so much change I'm experiencing in my life in 2 months, in 3 months. Husband and wife, children, they're coming and saying, how much change by chanting. This is not just some theory or some kind of ideology. It's a practical science. You practice it, you get the effect. You take the medicine, you feel healthy. So don't mind. I'm only being urgent because life is urgent. We don't know how long we're going to live. We don't know what the future holds. Every moment we are not engaging ourselves in devotion to the Lord, we are actually wasting valuable time. Sometimes we think, I have to solve my other problems, then I'll do devotion to Krishna. Let me take care of my economic problem. Let me take care of my family problem. Let me take care of my health problem. We may never take care of those problems. Why we're having problems in the first place is because of our previous karmas. Because we forgot to do devotion to Krishna then. Now we have opportunity, we should do bhakti now. Atata Brahma Jigyasa. Make inquiry now. Subhasyam Sigram. We should do today what is auspicious. What's inauspicious, put it off till tomorrow. Pratikulasya varjanam. So because of the urgency, that's the only reason why I'm bringing up these points. That every one of you has the potential to become completely perfected yogis, bhakti yogis, to achieve all the perfection in life very easily by practicing these principles of bhakti yoga. You don't have to take sannyas, you don't have to change where you are. Wherever you are, you simply practice these principles. Arjuna was grihastha, he achieved perfection. Viprasudama was grihastha, he achieved perfection. Prahlad Maharaj was grihastha. Dhruva was grihastha. But they all achieved perfection by bhakti. So bhakti yoga is so powerful. Even here while you're doing your occupation, while you're accountant, sales engineers, whatever you might be, marketing, accounting and so on. Simply side by side you do devotion. And you can achieve this highest blessing in life. And that is the real thing when you go back to wherever you're going. Whenever you leave this world, you'll be still carrying that wealth with you. The wealth of devotion. That will take you right back to home, back to Godhead. That wealth you'll never lose. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I can't say about other groups what they're giving or not giving. But if you're getting something from Krishna consciousness, that's what we're very happy about. That's only what we are doing. That our Guru told us that if you are grateful for anything I have given you, if you think that something I have given you is valuable, and you want to repay that debt, the way you can repay me is by giving this to others. So the only reason we are giving this to others is simply out of love. The love that we have received from our Guru, that we want to pay back to him. He said, you pay back to me, you give this love to others. So actually getting free of birth and death is not difficult. By devotional service is very easy. There is a least of the problems. Much greater blessing than that is to actually get devotion. Say you get free from birth and death, then where are you?
Godhead, back to Godhead.
No, but you see, Godhead is a big place. You know, just like somebody is struggling to get in India, they want to get a job in the Gulf. Once they get in the Gulf, then they have to see what job they have, promotion, contract renewal, so many other things. Just getting here is one thing. Once you get out of the material world and you're in spiritual, what you'll do then? Spiritual world, there's Brahma Jyoti, there's spiritual planets. Unless you have bhakti, you won't go to the spiritual planets. You end up in the Jyoti. So that's also another problem. In the Jyoti, is one doesn't stay forever. Again, you can fall down from the Jyoti. But if you have devotion, automatically, when you leave this world, even while you're living in this world, if someone has devotion, he's as good as liberated. You become free of all the karmas, even in this lifetime. By engaging in devotion with thought, word and deed. And when you leave this world, you continue in the spiritual world. You already have developed your relationship, you continue on. There's no death as such for the devotee. Devotee doesn't experience death like that. It explains in Bhagavat when Narada died, before he became Narad, there was no pain, no suffering. It was a lightning flash. He looked and saw his human body was lying, and he had the Narad body. He had the spiritual body. There are no pain, no suffering. And since that time, he didn't have to die anymore. He's got his spiritual body just like God. Angelic, Satchidananda body. But for the materialist, when we leave the body, it's a very big shock. Where we'll go, what's the future, what's our next birth? So if we develop our spiritual consciousness, automatically we get the spiritual body to serve the Lord. So that's why devotion is more important, even than getting free from birth and death.
Devotion, Krishna Bhakti.
Devotion to Krishna.
धर्म अर्थ काम यानी मुख्य के कोई को क्यों बोला है?
Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha are the four Purush Arthas. So as I just explained, Moksha itself is not complete. That from moksha we can again fall down, that the real ultimate perfection is to have pure devotion to Krishna. When you have pure Vishnu Bhakti or Krishna Bhakti, then from that position you never fall down. Bhaktamam Name Bhakta Pranashati. Krishna, my devotee, never perishes. So if someone presents the other things as ultimate, this is not a full picture. Therefore we're getting the incorrect picture. Therefore for the devotees, they feel cheated if someone offers them artha, kama, moksha. They want the ultimate blessing of pure devotion, which includes all the other things. Other things are automatically included within bhakti to Krishna. That's what the Shastras say, that in the age of Kali there's no other alternative other than chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. There's no better alternative. There may be other alternatives, but they're not comparable. They're not guaranteed success systems. In the Brihat Naradiya Purana, I quoted that verse. Also in the Kali Santana Upanishad, it states, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Iti Saudasakam Nam Kali Kalmasha Nashanam Nata Parata Upaya Sarva Vedesha Drishyate. That Kali Kalmasha Nashanam, these 16 names destroy the Kalmash, the contamination of Kali Yuga. Nata Parata Upaya. There's no Para Upaya. There's no better Upaya. This is the supreme method of this age. Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. This is found in all the Vedas. All the gurus, anyone, whether even the Nirvisheshvadis, they also will accept that the process of worshipping Govinda and chanting the Sankirtanam is the easiest and most ideal process for this age. So only thing is that Hare Krishna movement, Krishna consciousness, we are simply focusing on this method because this is the most highly recommended, so why should we observe any other method and waste time or divert energy? And by practicing this, we're seeing people can easily get results and are getting. Any other question? Ladies? Next program.
We'd like to thank Srila Acharya Pad for taking so much trouble and time to enlighten us. We invite everyone to come regularly for our programs. We have every Friday at 5:15 p.m. every Friday, Sandhya Arati, then Bhagavat Gita class and Prasadam. We also have on all the other days, but particularly everyone is free on Fridays, so please come on the Fridays. On Tuesdays at the temple at 7:30. And for children, we have the program on Thursdays 4 to 7, where children can have, there is storytelling, singing of bhajans, then drawing, games, and so on. So parents can leave the children at 4 o'clock when they're going to the office. The fathers can leave the children at our house and pick them up again at 7 o'clock. So we invite everyone to please send their children for this program. Now you can come up and offer your obeisances to Srila Jayapataka. Srila Jayapataka ki jai.